Welcome to Mikab College online tutorial. We hope at the end of this lesson, you will have acquired the expected learning outcome. Sit down and listen attentively as we introduce your subject teacher.
Welcome back to another class of mathematics. I'm Adobaz Abdullahi. And this minute, I'm going to take you the indicial equation. And in this indicial equation that I must take you, you agree with me that equation is defined as a mathematical statement that shows equality between two or more expressions. For example, if 2x minus 1 equals 3, this x here in this equation, if you substitute 2 in that position, we are going to have 2 times 2 minus 1, which is going to be 3. And that is what we refer to as equation. That is, if you remove this x from this expression and put this 2 there, you're going to have 2 times 2, and the result there is 4. And 4 minus 1 will give us 3. That is what we meant by an equation. And from the name indicial equations, it means that the equations involve indices. So we are going to look at those equations that involve indices. The first example that we must look at is this. Evaluate 1. 2 raised to the power of x equals 16. And the second question tells us, open bracket 0.25, close brackets, all raised to the power of x minus 1 equals 32. And if you look at this, 2 raised to the power of x and this 16 here, the separation here is sign of equality. That is to show that this is no longer an expression. This one is an equation. So we are going to solve the first question by expressing the value at the right hand side, which is this 16, to the value of this 2 as the base of this x. So if we must express this 16 to this value of 2, we are going to have 16 equals 2 raised to the power of 4. And if you remove this 16 from this equation and put 2 raised to the power of 4 in that position, we are going to have 2 raised to the power of x equals 2 raised to the power of 4. And we said it earlier that this is an indicial equation. Therefore, this 2 is equal to this 2. The two of them, they are going to strike each other, and we are going to equate the power. If these 2 strike these 2, therefore the result will now be x equals 4. That is, x equals 4 can be expressed as 2x raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of x equals 16. The solution of these 2x raised to the power of these 2 raised to the power of x equals 16 is going to be x equals 4. That is, if you remove this x and put this 4 there, which is still the same thing as this expression of 16 equals 2 raised to the power of 4. The solution of the second question goes thus. The second question is given as open brackets 0.25 close bracket r raised to the power of x minus 1 equals 32. And I told you previously that whenever you are given decimal within the bracket, or that is within the indices expression, we are going to convert it to fraction first. And if we must convert this one to fraction, the determinant here is that we are having 2 digits after decimal. That is to show that we are going to divide this 25 by 100. That is 0.25 will now be equals 25 all over 100. And 25 into 25, you are going to have 1. If you divide 100 by 25, you are going to have 4. And if you express this one to the value of 2, you are going to have 2 raised to the power of 2, which is still the same thing as 4. This 0.25 is still the same thing as 1 all over 2 raised to the power of 2, which is still the same thing as 2 raised to the power of minus 2 if you express reciprocal law there. And this 32 can be expressed to the value of 2 as well, when you have the 32 to be equals 2 raised to the power of 5. And if you now remove this 0.25, r raised to the power of x minus 1 will now be transformed as 1 all over 2 raised to the power of 2, r raised to the power of x minus 1. Since the expression of this 0.25 is 1 all over 2 raised to the power of 2 in fractional form. And the expression of this 32 in index form is given as 2 raised to the power of 5. Therefore, anywhere you see this 32 in the initial equation given to us, you now remove it from there and put 2 raised to the power of 5 there. So we are going to have 2 raised to the power of 5 at the right hand side, and the expressions where we have 2 raised to 1 over 2 raised to the power of 2, r raised to the power of x minus 1 can be expressed using reciprocal law as 2 raised to the power of minus 2. Everything to the multiplication of x minus 1 equals 2 raised to the power of 5. And if you use this one to open this bracket, this minus 2 to open the bracket of this x minus 1, we are going to have 2. This minus 2 times this x will give us minus 2x. Minus times minus here is plus. 2 times 1 is 2. That is how comes about this 2 raised to the power of 2 minus 2x equals 2 raised to the power of 5. And you agree with me that this 2 is equal to this 2, which is the base of the expression at both left and right hand side. So we are going to strike this 2 and this 2. And the equation will now be 2 minus 2x equals this 5 as the power of this 2. We are going to have 2 minus 2x equals 5. We are going to collect the like terms. If you look at this last equation here, where we have 2 minus 2x equals 5. This 2 is not having alphabet written along with it. And this 5 is also not having the same alphabet. Then this one is having alphabet. This one will be separated from this 2x, will be separated from this 2 and this 5. So if you are going to do that, you are going to collect the like terms. And you move this minus 2x across the equal sign to this side. You are going to have 2x equals, you move this 5 across this equal sign to this side. You are going to have 2 minus 5. And the equation from this 2x equals 2 minus 3 will now be 2x equals minus 3. Since 2 minus 5 is minus 3, because this value of 5 is bigger than the value of this 2. That is why the subtraction of this 5 from 2 will give us negative result. Therefore, we are looking for the value of x, not the 2x. We are going to divide both sides by 2, which is the coefficient of this x. And if you divide both sides by 2, we are going to have 2x over 2 equals minus 3 over 2. And this 2 here will strike this 2. We are going to have x equals 2 into 3 is 1 times remainder 1. Therefore, the result will now be minus 1 whole number 1 over 2. Now, the expression, the equation that we wrote initially, where we have 0.25 all raised to the power of x minus 1 equals 32. That is, if you substitute x into the expression at the left hand side, where we have 0.25 all raised to the power of x minus 2, if you now substitute minus 1 whole number 1 over 2 there, the result will give us 32. That is another format of writing 32. Thank you.